Hello and welcome to the news brief for Saturday, April the 11th. So glad that you are tuned in today. It's a great joy to be celebrating this Easter time. It is the octave of Easter, and so we continue along with our Easter celebrations. But I hope that everyone had a beautiful Easter day and celebration of all the great celebrations with the Triduum and everything. It was a beautiful weekend, at least from my perspective. It was lovely. We kind of conclude the octave of Easter with Divine Mercy Sunday. This is a great opportunity for us to consider the mercy of God. And we have a special celebration that we have every year. We are beginning at 2:20 on Sunday, tomorrow, April the 12th. And it'll be a beautiful service. It'll be bilingual with the praying of the Chaplet of the Divine Mercy. There will be the opportunity for confessions, and there'll be Eucharistic adoration. So what a great way to continue the celebration of the Easter time by celebrating the mercy of God, Divine Mercy Sunday tomorrow, this Sunday. And then we are in Emerald season. So you might remember we used to have a fundraiser called the Lollapalooza, and now we have rebranded and it is called the Emerald Evening. And furthermore, we have around that time what we call the Emerald Season. So Emerald Evening is kind of the high point of the Emerald Season, but what we are called to do as a parish, this is the biggest fundraiser of the year for our parish and our school. And I really need people to be involved in this. And the idea is that the gala or a big event is not everyone's cup of tea. I get that. You might not want to go to the dinner and the auction, all of those kinds of things. But each of us as parishioners are called to contribute to our church and contribute to the mission of our church and our school. So I invite everyone to please consider being a part of the Emerald season. Now, the committee is a little bit worried about the attendance at the Emerald Evening because we have not sold as many tickets as we are hoping yet. But as I've said to them, it's still early. It's still early. We just finished Easter and it's still at the end of April, so people maybe aren't quite thinking about that yet. It's 2 weeks away, so we want to get those tickets sold. So if you've not yet purchased your ticket, they will be available this weekend. There will be people in the narthex this weekend if you have not yet gotten your ticket for the Emerald Evening. But even so, even if you don't want to go to the Emerald Evening night, there are many ways that you can support and help the mission of the church through this Emerald season, this kind of calling for all of our parish for this annual fundraiser. So please consider learning more about that and participating in the Emerald season and possibly the Emerald Evening. Over Lent, many people were involved in the small groups, the Renewal in the Heartland, looking at the Beatitudes and considering what that means for us. There's a follow-up piece to that. And even if you didn't participate in that, that's okay. But what we are doing as a whole diocese is having listening sessions. And Pope Francis really said that we are really called to be a listening church. And we want to be synodal and making sure that we are hearing what the people, what their concerns are and what is going on in people's lives. And so I love that we are doing this, that we are opening this up. Just the Archbishop wants to hear from the people. And I'm pretty sure that I'm not even invited to these things because they really want to get the idea of what is the sense of the people, of the laity, of the people that are living in our diocese and maybe not even Catholic. And that's okay. That the Archbishop wants to look at how are we really being centers of charity and sanctuaries of mercy. And especially if you might say, I do not experience at my parish mercy or charity at all. I experience judgment or experience whatever. Please come to these listening sessions because we want to get better about who we are as a church. So there's a whole bunch of listening sessions, and what I have heard is that the signing up for them is very low. So we want to increase those. So there are several options for those listening sessions coming up this week on Tuesday and Wednesday at the Church of the Nativity. We have those listening sessions There's also, they're trying to do some offsite. So if people don't feel comfortable coming to a church, great. There's the Tomahawk Community Center. There's the Matt Ross Community Center. So there's a whole list of things. There is a QR code where you can just sign up for those things. So I'd encourage you to please sign up for one of those listening sessions. It's a great opportunity to really be heard. I have said so many times, and I really learned this from Mary Perini, who was the campus minister at Miege when I was the chaplain there, is people need to be heard. And we need to have forums where people can express their desires, their hopes, in a productive way. So I'm excited about this, but consider signing up for those. We have on next Saturday, it is Earth Day, and we have the dedication of our garden, our rededication of our community garden. That's Saturday, April the 18th at 9 o'clock. There's a whole schedule of things that are happening, and I love it. We are rededicating it to Father Jim White, who is very involved in many churches in the diocese, but he came here a lot at Good Shepherd, and people knew him for his eggs. He was sometimes known as Father Egg White because he brought all those eggs, he had all those chickens, and he was really committed to the earth. And he would often share stories in his homilies about how he would go to the well at his farm, or all of those things. Very down-to-earth man and a wonderful priest. So we are rededicating our garden to Father Jim White. So that's going to be a beautiful celebration. So come to that next Saturday if you're interested. That is Saturday the 18th, starting at 9 o'clock. Also, we are joining in, working together with the Good Faith Network. And this is an interfaith and interdenominational group that works for justice. I really am a fan of the methodology for this group. I'm not someone who writes my senator. I'm not someone who does that kind of thing. Usually, I probably should do more of that, but that's just never been my cup of tea. However, I really like the way that the Good Faith Network works to make really tangible, actionable items, things actually happen in Johnson County and wherever they are in other areas. There's a group in Wyandotte and Topeka and Lawrence, and they do really tangible, achievable goals. It's really, really great. And so one of the distinctions that they make, and I think this is very helpful for me, is that Christians as a whole, we tend to be very good about mercy, but we don't tend to be very good about justice. And how they do that distinction is mercy is like going to the food kitchen or doing a collection or handing out food for whatever cause or whatever. We're good at that as Christians. What we're not so good about is working for justice. Like, what is underlying the systems that necessitate people needing food or whatever, what are the underlying systems? And that's what we want to work at for justice. And so there is a Nehemiah action. That's what they call these big gatherings on Tuesday, April the 28th at 6 p.m. I would love to go. However, that is our confirmation night, and I cannot miss our confirmation night. But I do invite those who are not involved in confirmation to please go to this. It's going to be very powerful, as they are going to call up people from the city council and talk about really things that we want to get resolved here. So for more information, you can look up the Good Faith Network Nehemiah Action. Here's more information about that. I'd love to have a good showing for that for our parish. I think that's all for today. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next time.